I have to wait for the live to go down. I look really short on my live because I've put the camera at the kitchen shelf sort of side. So anyway, join me for a coffee and a bit of washing up for a minute, and me sort of in more relaxed. Hello to face recognition. I did a live obviously yesterday outside the police car that was obviously gathering face recognition ID. I'm just taking off the things that I keep on my wrist. For those that don't know what I keep on my wrist, if anyone wants to send me any wristbands, you're more than welcome to. Forgotten Veterans, and I wear one on my left and my right for both male and female, and obviously the left and the right. Keep calm and know the law, which police officer gave me. And it starts with you, which is politics. So at the end of the day, I have just spoken to Wrexham Adoption Agency, and it was actually really nice. I rang with the intentions of making sure that they've got my new address. So obviously what I call the ransom note. So the post-adoption contact letter comes directly to my newer place and not to the old place. And obviously Aaron and Faith were kidnapped, and I can prove this now, that it was a blatant fucking kidnap. The challenge that I've got is who is behind it all. And what's really funny about Tommy Robson at the moment, aka Stephen, is that his court case is on the 28th of October. And obviously that was my committal to prison on the 28th of October 2013 for breaching my gag, for speaking about the removal, the kidnap, the stolen, the takenness of my two children, Aaron and Faith. As I have explained to people, it doesn't get easier the longer it goes on, it gets harder. And I'm in a position now where I'm just waiting for one report to be edited, because he hasn't included the actual diagnosis of hypermobility EDS in the report. He's just talked about all the injuries. So once that's done, people will know. So people will know that they were wrong. Now, at the end of the day, I can contact District Judge Andrew Shaw, who's now retired, and that's not going to help me in any way, shape or form. But I want him to know what he's done and what he's caused. And he's lucky, because what I have thought about doing along the years to these people, luckily have only ever remained a fantasy, so to say. And then of course there's Cheryl Osborne. I don't know what position she's in now. And then there's Carrie Larn, and a couple of others, and obviously PC Stephen Lewis. So basically PC Stephen Lewis had already had upheld complaints because of the way he was with me. But that's nothing. It's nothing. What these people have done is nothing. Now, everyone can point the finger. I will admit I dysregulate quite often. And I have a vagus nerve. We all got one. And it runs all the way through, all the way down. And when that vagus nerve comes out, you go into dysregulation. I'm just going to put the camera a little bit forward unless it falls into my sink, because I'm just literally trying to potter and wash up while Dean's got the boys. I want to talk about stuff that could put me in line for people going, oh, I'm ringing the services. I've had this again today with my next door neighbour, John, and I have done the best that I can do with living with a gay guy who is, I don't want to talk about my neighbours because that's not what I came here to do, but my neighbour put me on fight and flight today. And that means that my whole nervous system, so if you imagine a cat and the hairs that stand up on a cat when it puts its claws up, that's what my nervous system does. If I could show you in pictures and things like that, and I'm going to use my scan as a result for this system, because I can go two different ways with October this year. especially as obviously Tommy Robson is doing what he's going to be doing, and I can take different opportunities to speak on different platforms. The problem is as always, there's lots of little intricate little groups that have become little cliques, and over the years they've spent time getting to know each other, and I'm seeing a lot of people that are obviously taking ownership of their campaigns, and I get that, and that's okay, but you're all part of a much bigger picture. And you're all part of a much bigger picture, because I was that mother that made, in fact, where's my... This is where we are up to in terms of me at the moment. And just so people do wonder, obviously my name is there as Kellie Avis, and you can see on my son's birth certificate that obviously it was previously Kellie Cottam. So that is the same person. Kellie Avis, Kellie Cottam is the same person. I'm finding it very, very difficult not having any identity with my name at the moment, so it's just Kellie. But that's the challenge with marriage and divorce, isn't it? Women, we lose our names. So obviously the original article, well, actually there's another cover to it somewhere. I think there's another bit to it somewhere. The original article that went out on the 5th of October 2012, which obviously shows me with Liam, Daniel, Aaron and Faith in it. And this article, I need to finish what I started. As I said in here, it says... Okay, let me read you some of this. This is not all of it, but at the end of the day, I want to explain to you how the media works. And the Daily Mail took a local article. So say I have a relationship with Portsmouth News here, and they decide to speak about who is welcomed home, and who's returned to their place of birth and what the story is. And obviously with the book and everything, then they would be the people that would do that. Say the Daily Mail then take it and go, oh yeah, and they want to hone in on something else. At the end of the day, whatever my intention is still my intention, because my intention is still the same. So a mum of 4 hasn't worked properly for decades and is prepared, this is back in 2010, and is preparing to launch a new business called Challenge Britain to challenge people's reliance on state handouts. Now, I didn't say that, and what you also got to be careful with journalists. I'm not a journalist. I'm telling my story, my testimony, my truth, and still building a case, which obviously now can be done, and people can stop listening to the waffling woman. Now they just see the scans, go, okay, she has a right to rehabilitation, she has a right to train. As I explained to the woman on the phone, I said, what you're all going to realise is actually I was being really nice because I'd moved into a flat. I'd stopped training. Why did I stop training? Because I had people living downstairs. So I was being respectful to be able to ask to use the hall across the road, you know. So he certainly hasn't deserved what I've been through. So anyway, based on the fact that Aaron and Faith were kidnapped on the 13th of December 2012, and they were claiming that I was faking my condition, it was already in the papers. I'd already been diagnosed. I already had the condition. I was already in rehabilitation. I was already with Professor Bird, who had retired, and then obviously we were put over to Manchester, told that there was a 2.5-year waiting list, and I wanted to go to London for Professor Graham, who is also now retired. The links into hypermobility is still all the same. The system is still the same. We live in a world who has only just understood what I've been trying to tell you a long time about neurons and how synapses can repair themselves. We've lived in an education system that's tried to teach us that our mind and brain is set, that is it, that we're a child, it grows, we become an adult, and that's it. That's not true. We are forever changing, forever moving forward into action through based on our residual past thoughts and actions, and we can change those at any point and move forward into a different direction. But that's very different when you're trying to tell people around you that you're changing a direction. So people go, women, they change their minds as often as they socks. Yes, because we do. Our minds change and grow just as, you know, our heart, you know, our soul here in here. This is our spirit. This is everything. This is where you sing from. This is the spirit that serves. This is your gut reaction, your gut intuition. Everything is in here. But anyway, I said, so it says Kellyanne has a condition called called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which stops her body from producing collagen, which results in daily dislocations of her joints and has resulted with her in and out of a wheelchair. My battle with a wheelchair is my battle. It's nobody else's battle. The neighbours here have an issue because they appease to the system that says in order to have an OT assessment, you have to be based in a wheelchair. I have always said this is not fair, or is it true? Because at the end of the day, if I want to design my kitchen, I should be able to go into a kitchen designer, explain how my body works, explain how picking up the plates can sometimes be a little bit difficult, explain how sometimes picking up a cup can sometimes be a little bit difficult. Things that people don't see, and they go, oh, you're normal. Well, I'm normal in certain ways, and I just need to be around people who get it. So even if I'm standing there with a cup like that, you know, or even just like that, it might just be because it's easier for me to hold the cup. Because otherwise, if I had, say, a hot coffee, can you do this with a cup? If I had a hot coffee in this cup, you know, sometimes it's likely to, I do it with a different one because I've got a tea bag in there. But, you know, I can't hold it around the handle like normal people can, you know. So for me, I tend to have my hands on the inside of the cup because it makes it easier for me. And that means also living with people that understand that once I've done this washing up and I've put things away, that's that done. And it's about maintaining things. It's about living in a house where I live with people that understand that I may have another 50 years left. I may have another 10 years left. I may have 3 or more years left. But at the end of the day, this is the content and property and everything that I've created and everything that I've been doing. And it's about our legacy, isn't it, at the end of the day? The mum of 4, oh, I've read that bit. Kellyanne, no, read that bit. She said, so this is me. I didn't actually say this. Christopher Maguire called me it. Some people will see me as public enemy number 1. I've got 4 children with 3 different dads. I was expelled from school and I couldn't survive without benefits. That doesn't make me any less of a mum. I was happily married, a full-time housewife, and then the relationship ended and the system became my breadwinner. And at the end of the day, for single mothers, if you're a stay-at-home mum, so at the end of the day, if you have children and you drop them off at school, people don't understand how that working hours works. It's not practical. It really isn't designed for the mother, particularly the mother, because the father can get up and go out whatever time he needs to go in, and he can come back in and he can go out and he can go and do what he's got to do. But when it comes to the mother is like the emergency call. The mother is like the person that can't really go too far, even though she's not with her children. She still can't go too far because the one day she's got a hospital appointment at London and she's got to get back to pick the children up from school is the one day the train's running late, or like me at university, I used to have to get from Preston University to the school and try to get into lectures to pick the boys up. And unless you've got a support system and I'm talking about people who pick the children up from school, and I can talk about this because I had to do this with Liam and Daniel, and it made it very difficult in terms of different forms of work, because at the end of the day, I used to work nighttime shifts, not in the daytime. So I don't need, or even as a youth worker, I didn't used to start work until 4:30. So that doesn't work in conducive with school either. So anyway, back to what I was saying about today. My nervous system has to heal. And at the end of the day, I can carry on with this or I can stop. But November the 5th is happening whether we like it or not. And that is out of my control. It has nothing to do with me. They went up, I think it was the same year. So some people won't like reading this, and that's the truth. I can't win either way. But they need to change the system. Benefits should be a bridge for change. I will be challenging Britain to take the mask off and look in the mirror. If they don't like what they see, change it. I aim to get people in negative states of mind to renew their thinking and be the person that they would love to be. Because of her disability, Kellie can only work self-employed and is currently receiving training from Leyland-based Business Venture Group. She plans to launch a self-help training manual to give people choices. Kellie explains people are stuck in a rut. They could be trapped in the jobs they don't like, a failed relationship, or on benefits. I don't have a magic wand because I'm not a witch. And I don't have all the answers. I know that by putting my head above the parapet, I will be abused and despised by some. I've done things in my life that I'm not proud of, and I don't pretend that I haven't done them either. But if being abused is a price that I have to pay to promote a debate, then so be it. But did that give people the right to use the system to take 2 of my children? No. But at the end of the day, I don't want to bleed on other people. I don't want to ever forget my children and say, bye, they're adopted, they belong to somebody else, they're gone. That's never going to happen from me. I don't know whether they're ever going to want to come home. Liam and Daniel and I don't speak, you know, and that's been really difficult all the way through, because he said, Daniel answered the phone the other day and he said, but Mum, it comes up with a security breach. So I am a security breach, I gather. So many people walk past my house, it's really weird. So anyway, I'm just literally pottering, getting this done, trying to straighten up. I've moved into another house. I'm very frustrated because it's going to take probably another year to get this place to exactly how I want to be. It's not the place I want to be. You know, even my din-low neighbour next door trying to cause problems and everything. But, you know, people can sit in the wheelchair to keep their benefits. I'm not willing to do that. I choose to keep myself going, keep myself focused, and I really do believe that I can turn a lot of my health prep challenges around, and I have a right to eat the way that I need to eat, live the way that I need to live, and it isn't inconducive with the ways of the world. Most of the supermarkets wouldn't have most of the things that I'm meant to eat, and a lot of it does come with being around the world, because you'll find, like, even turmeric is a painkiller, but that comes from India, you know. So the world has been so divided up, so we can't live holistically, and they want us to be reliant on pharmaceuticals and GPs, and, you know, they want us to be sick. They can't make money off us any other way, really, and unless you're really materialistic and you consume, like in China, you know, something happened the other day and people just went and bought so much stuff. So, but anyway, I do want to build my social media back up again, but I want to do it professionally. I want to do it so it supplies me with an actual income for working. And I want to do it with the right people. I've pretty much had 10, 11, 12 years of trolling, people causing a lot of stress and aggravation, a lot of people who didn't like that I went on to have further children, a lot of people who feel that I let them down because I got so far with the campaign. But at the end of the day, it was always about stopping the adoption of Aaron and Faith, and that didn't happen, and people didn't help me. And every time I come forward to do something, people didn't come forward. That's not my fault. So, you know, and we did so much, you know, getting universities involved, all sorts, and people just were not willing to speak to the system. This system is around us whether we like it or not, and we're getting more and more caged into an open prison whether we like it or not. And it was written in the Bible, and we're in the last chapters, and this is the way it is. And I don't necessarily believe that, because if that was the case, you know, people would all go and take their lives, and you know, that's meant to be their little game. That's what they want us to do. You know, so when I do dysregulate, it's not good. Sometimes I can get so overwhelmed with thoughts, but this is not mental health. This is a circumstance. This is a situation. There is something different about a personality disorder and somebody going through something. You know, if somebody's learning to swim, oh, they're going to be coming in. If somebody's learning to swim, you can't turn around and say, oh, look, you can't swim. It's that time frame in between being a non-swimmer to being a competent swimmer. So, anyway, my boy's dad is dropping the boys off. I'm assuming he's staying here because he doesn't have anywhere to go. So I shall catch you later. Have a good one.